Do you know the difference between an in-person and a mail-away closing? Hey everyone, it's Danielle Taylor with Keller Williams Realty here on the beautiful Outer Banks. And today I thought I would explain a little bit about the difference between an in-person and a mail-away closing. Unique, I think, to our area, or fairly unique to our area, is that it is often the case that our buyers and or sellers don't physically attend closing. Could be for lots of different reasons, but the primary reason is that for the most part, our sellers are not occupying the property currently. In our market, we can do either in person or mail away. Regardless of how you do it, in North Carolina and in the Outer Banks, we don't sit at a closing table with buyers and sellers across from each other doing the closing. So it's always, for the most part, done separately anyway. So we have these two options. So this is a great option if you're not planning to attend closing. So let me just tell you really the 5 main things that happen in closing, how they're different or the same. First off is closing disclosure review. So a few days prior to closing, we will receive a preliminary closing disclosure statement that has been compiled by your closing attorneys in conjunction with lenders if there's a loan involved. That'll be all the numbers, okay? So we're all going to get a chance to review that, make sure we understand it, make sure the numbers look right, ask any questions, make any corrections. That is the document that's going to tell you as a buyer how much you need to bring to closing. And for a seller, it's going to tell you how much to expect once we close. It will come to us electronically via email or via our closed loop system, which the closing attorney that we work most frequently with uses a program where it has a login, so everything is kept safe and secure inside that system. So it'll come either way. So that's how the closing disclosure review will work. Whether in person or mail away, that is the same. The second thing that will happen is we've got to talk about signing documents. This is where it differs between mail away and in person. So if it's an in-person closing, you're going to sit with your closing attorney and go through all the documentation and sign what's needed. If there's a loan involved, you're going to need to have that done in front of a notary. So if you're in person with your closing attorney, they are a notary, so they can do all of that. If it's a mail away, your closing package will be sent to you. You will sign with a notary. It will get put back in a prepaid return courier envelope and sent overnight back to the attorney for recording. Now, the attorney that we work most frequently with does all of this process via a mobile notary. So they work with you on your schedule and your place, location of preference. They arrange for a mobile notary to bring the package to you, sign and notarize with you, and return that package on your behalf. So it's great because it takes all of that off your plate, and that comes back to the attorneys to actually go through the final recording process. If there is no loan involved, if you're a cash buyer, all of the things that need to be signed can be signed electronically. So there wouldn't be a need for a mobile notary. You would just do it all via DocuSign or whatever digital signature program that you're using. So that's how it's different. In person, you do it with the attorney. Mail away, we're gonna, if you work with the attorney we work with most, we're gonna send a mobile notary. Once that's done, we still have to do a walkthrough. We need to make sure the house is in substantially the same condition as it was when you went under contract. In person, our preference is always to do that together. So we'll go through our walkthrough, make sure everything's good, then we'll go ahead and head to the attorney's office. If we're a mail away, we have a couple of options. We can jump on together on a FaceTime or a Zoom so that you can see what I'm seeing as we do the walkthrough and we make sure everything's good. Worst case, if that isn't an option for you, I can do it on your behalf and just let you know that everything seems to be substantially the same as it was. So that's how it's different on the walkthrough. Fourth thing is funding. Okay, so now we're at the closing table, we got to pay for this thing. So if you're getting a loan, there's going to be 2 pieces. There's going to be the piece that you're responsible for in terms of the down payment and all your closing costs. And then there's going to be the lender's portion, which would be sent directly from the lender to the closing attorney, whether it's mail away or in person. For the monies that you're bringing, whether it's down payment or a full cash, if you're coming in person, you have the option of either wiring the funds or bringing a certified check. And please let me triple stress, certified. It must be certified. It cannot be any other form of physical payment. I just had a closing recently where I represented the seller. We got delayed by a day, which happened to be over the weekend, so 3 days, because the courthouse isn't open Saturday and Sunday, because the buyer didn't understand they had to bring certified funds. So if you are going to do a check, it has to be a certified check, or you can wire it, and you can wire for either a mail away or in person. Okay. So that's for funding. I just need to triple stress. Wire fraud is real. It happens. These scammers are incredibly talented. They can mimic almost anything. So really, you have to be cautious and always ask questions. This is why I love using the closing attorney that we work with their closed Qualia system, because they send instructions and information in that closed system. You're not just getting it willy-nilly in email. Email is how they try to get you. One thing to know, if you're working with us, you will never get instructions on wiring from myself. You won't get them in email from Jody, our director of operations. You won't get them in any way, shape, or form. We are never going to tell you that. And if you ever get a request for wire funds that says it's urgent, you must do it now, it's not brain surgery. This is not urgent. So question everything just to be certain and be safe. The last thing is recording in possession. So I just want to remind you that in North Carolina, the deal is not closed until it records at the courthouse. So if you're coming in person, after you sign all of the paperwork, make a plan, grab lunch, have some errands to run. There will be a lag between when everything is signed by you and the attorney and returned, and when it records at the courthouse. It can be half an hour, it could be 3 hours. We just can't control it. And you cannot have access or possession to that home until we record. So whether it's a mail away or in person, just recognize that that's the way it goes. So hopefully this helps you understand. We can handle your closing in whatever way suits you best, and just a little bit more of the more you know.